Dog culture is domestic abuse. Dog culture is a driver of mental illness. Dog culture forces us to suppress our emotions. Let's look at an example with Pennelope, a woman that was eaten alive, but she lived.
Penelope did when she wrote in the show was she expressed some of her fears, and we knew that we needed to help her. We enlisted the help of phobia expert Gary Cox. Have a look. So for you to move on, we have got to get you to think about the past without the pain. One of the things we're going to start on is we're going to get you to touch dogs. I can't touch a dog, right?
Okay, so they say this dude is a phobia expert. Well, what's a phobia? A phobia is an anxiety disorder defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation. So she doesn't have a phobia. She has been attacked by dogs and is therefore fearful of dogs, rightfully so. If you're to take a walk and step on a nail or step in a bear trap, you're going to want to avoid those type of things. So this woman does not have a phobia. She has a fear of something. And you might have noticed what this guy said. Pain. Look what he says right here.
Think about the past without the pain.
So they want her to deny the pain that she experienced with the dog attacking her. Later on, you'll notice some pictures of her arm where the actual flesh is just removed. That's why she has to wear a long sleeve shirt. So this guy, he just yammers on and on, gets this woman to cry. I'm just going to scroll past it. We're not going to watch it all. Gets her to cry, is touching on her. Look at the way he looks at her. The guy is just a spaz. Like, you're going to have to watch the video yourself. And look at all of these weird hand movements he does. But he does all of this goofy stuff and ends up he has a dog in a basket. So the first thing he does is he puts a pretend dog under a towel and tries to convince her to touch the pretend dog. And during none of this time is he allowing her to tell her story about how people in the past told her it was good to have a dog or she thought it was okay to be around dogs. This whole thing about brainwashing people to overcome their fear of dogs is actually the reason this woman got attacked. So he's not allowing her to do that, not giving her a voice. This is a black woman. How come they don't give her a voice? So many people would say, oh, raise black voices, raise women voices. Yet when it comes to dogs, look at the suppression that they try to do. So eventually, this guy produces a dog. And look at the way he's freaking out over it. Like, oh my God, isn't it so precious? Blah, blah, blah. This dog is trapped inside of this zipped up thing, covered in towels, hidden from her. So they force her to touch and pet on this dog. They force her to call it all cute. And all the while, no allowance of her to tell her story about how she was shredded to bits by dogs. So they're forcing her to pet the dog. Put the dog on the lap. The whole body posture of this guy is like he's talking to someone that he has no value about. So what this guy is doing to this woman is making her suppress her emotions, her pain, her experience that she had from having her skin removed by dogs. I'll put this in the description. Suppressing your emotions just causes all kinds of downstream problems for you and society, and it also puts you into another position. So in domestic abuse and domestic violence, there's something called appease the abuser. I got a couple highlights right here. But they say, or they may also attempt to appease the perpetrator by tiptoeing around them. Yes, that's what we expect people to do around dogs. Oh, your little kid was maimed by a dog? Well, you just need to get over that and you need to tiptoe around dogs and put up doggy gates and give your dog more special organic food and talk to your vet more, blah, blah, blah. You're appeasing the abuser. In some cases, the attempts to In some cases, the attempts of the individual to appease the abuser may lead to the abusive phase, as the individual may not be satisfied by their attempts or turn against the survivor. I'm reading this part right here. That is just like dog culture, too. Dogs are never happy with what's going on. You can feed them all kinds of stuff, put them on the couch, or bring them into your house, and they will still attack you. They will still bite your kids, and they will still ruin your property. Even if we're not talking about like severe bites, dogs are constantly ruining the property. So what do? You appease that abusive dog by buying more stuff, more air filters, more vacuums, more deodorizers, more special additives for your clothes so they don't stink. We are just appeasing an abuser when it comes to this dog culture. There's something in domestic abuse and in narcissism. It's called the honeymoon phase. And this is basically where the abusive person or entity all of a sudden starts to love bomb you. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do better, blah, blah, blah. And that's what dog culture does. People take pictures of their dogs looking all sorry and, oh, he ruined my couch and he bit my arm up, but he's going to do better because I'm going to get him a dog bed with a heated thing or something. That's the way we do it with dog culture, the same way with domestic abuse. The dog does something bad, so society or we tell ourselves, oh, we need to treat the dog better, respect the dog's boundaries, keep our children away from the dog, then the kids won't get. It's all about appeasing the abuser, and this whole honeymoon phase. It's like when you first get a dog, you think, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. And then, everything goes to hell. So have a read up of this article right here. I'll put it in the description. Domestic abuse and domestic violence. It's exactly like dog culture. And society at large pushes these women and kids and everybody else to keep getting more dogs, despite all of the damage the dog has done to them. So later in this video, you can see the woman, much of her muscle, her bicep, and skin is damaged in her arm. That's forever. She has to deal with that. She has to have the looks when she goes out in public. She has to have people say, hey, what happened to your arm? And she has to sit there and suppress her emotions. And all of this thing where they're making her have a dog in her lap, they're just using her injuries, her abuse that she experienced with the dog to promote dogs. And that's another thing dog culture does. Every time there is an attack, they do a little story, and at the end of the story, what do they usually say? Well, don't let this make you judge the breed. It's all about this or that. And dog culture is exploiting this woman. There's more than one video of this. They bring her back on the show and they say, are you ready to show people how far you've come? Again, they have a chance for her to tell her story. How was it that she got so close to dogs that they were able to tear her flesh up? But they don't allow her to do that. Look what they do. They bring all of these dogs on the stage. And of course, these dogs have to have male handlers holding them. You got a yellow lab, it looks like a German shepherd, forcing her to put herself around these dogs. If she was raped or beat up by somebody, they wouldn't go and put her next to people that want to rape her or beat her up and tell her, oh, hey, you just got to get over your fears. Yet a dog nearly ends her life, and they tell her she needs to hang out around dogs more. This is domestic abuse. This is a driver of mental illness, and it's sad because they're exploiting this woman just to promote dogs. So during the whole video, they're just stroking up on the dog. And if you stop and look at some of these scenes, this lady is not really impressed with the dog. She's just kind of like, yeah. She's playing along, like, oh, okay, I guess I love dogs now, yeah. But you can tell she's very pensive. She's filled with anxiety. Yet look at these grown men. 1, 2, 3, 4 grown men with these goofy dog-loving smiles all over their face, like, look at us, we promoted dogs, and the only price is this woman lost a whole bunch of her arm. Ha ha ha. This is straight up abuse. It's abuse by these men. It's abuse by these dogs. And it's sad and ridiculous. And this goes on daily in our society. This is how we treat little kids, telling them they need to respect dogs, yet dogs send kids to the emergency room all the time. It seems to me what they should really be doing is giving her a chance to talk about what happened to her right here. Like, she purposely has her arm constantly pinned to her side right there, like to not show it. They should show that. They should show people why she is afraid of dogs and allow her to express that fear, not have that fear canned up inside of her and then surround herself with dogs that sort of give her a little bit of relief. But at the end of the day, they're just forcing this woman to suppress her fears. They're forcing dogs into her life and using her story to further promote dogs. If you want to know the kind of society that this lady lives in, you just look at the comments. People come to this video literally to worship the dog. Oh, the German Shepherd is so gorgeous. Who cares? That's what every freaking dog lover says about every freaking dog. You know, the attention is supposed to be on this poor lady. She's supposed to have a voice. But nope, all these people are like, oh, look at the puppies. Aren't they so cute? Yeah. So that's our look at Pennelope. I'd like to find some more about her story, but this is a perfect example of how dog culture treats everybody. They allow them to be injured by dogs, they silence them, they force them to suppress their own emotions, and then they use the tragic story of injuries caused by dogs as a platform to push more dogs. It's truly sick and truly abusive.